perfect love will flow, 'cause God made you for me. 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 God made you for me.
Love you, Mumsy.
I love you, honey. This is wonderful.
Thank you for helping me. As a unit. Wait, do I go over here? No. Oh, over here. That's fine. I was at rehearsal. I'm good.
Sneakers to heels like no big deal. Holding her close, but some things I can't feel. She hides the pain, still her love flies. Queen of my heart, told the downsides. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. And I spend every day telling her all the ways. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. Hush now, little darling, that's what they say. That's what they say. But the truth in her voice is a tidal wave. And one day she'll look in the mirror and say, this here woman is perfectly made. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. And I spend every day telling her all the ways. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. Everything she is, I will spend every day telling her all, spending days till I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. I'm in awe of her, in awe of her. So in awe. Everything she is, I will spend every day telling her all, spending days till I'm in awe of her, in awe of her.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Many of you have come a long way to be here, and we're here for a couple who has also traveled a long path to get here. First, they had their individual journeys of building deep and broad friendships and lives of service to others in all sorts of interesting places like Uganda, Ukraine, New York City, LA, where their special talents of intelligence and compassion and encouragement really made a difference to a lot of people. And then 16 years ago, they first met. And then over the years, they became closer friends. And a few weeks ago, Here we are. So let's begin. Brielle? Brielle is making a beautiful circle of petals. That's perfect. Keep going. And this is a circle of new commitments, of growing cycles of intelligent love that surround and guide and evolve your relationship every day. Yeah, let's use them all. Very good. All right. Perfect job, Brielle. Woo! So as the two of you come together in this circle and stand, you're embracing a new and deeper level of commitment, of mutuality and identity that will be with you every day of your marriage. You're two individuals becoming a couple. The nature of this amazing new relationship is characterized in these ideas from the words of the Psalms in the Bible, of Jesus and of Mary Baker Eddy. And they're being read by Katie and Chris's siblings, Lisa, Alex, and Drew. Go for it. Yep. You can stay seated. You can stay seated. It's fine.
Marriage should signify a union of hearts.
Since they are no longer two but one, let no one split apart what God has joined together.
Union of the masculine and feminine qualities constitutes completeness, their true harmony in spiritual oneness. Both sexes should be loving, pure, tender,
Unselfish ambition, noble life motives, purity. These constituents of thought, mingling, constitute individually and collectively true happiness, strength, and confidence. There should be the most tender solitude for each other's happiness, mutual attention and affirmation, and mutual compromise. You should wait on all the years of married life, each partner sustaining the other. Thus, hallowing the union of interests and affections, in which the heart finds peace and home.
Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious or boastful, or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
The motives of human affection are right. The affections are enduring and achieving.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths.
and I will pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lisa and Alex and Drew. And what you just shared brings out the fact that these are two unique individuals entering a uniquely mutual, committed relationship. And the other day, Katie and Chris sat down at Starbucks and wrote out their marriage statement.
Classy couple.
It has bullet points, so they're going to read it to you now.
Marriage is standing hand in hand with you, bearing witness to God's perfection.
It's the ultimate commitment that no matter what, I got your back, you got my back, and it's a daily moment by moment discovery of the joy of loving unconditionally and giving attention and careful consideration to your needs.
Marriage is a love so magnificent so strong that to experience it is to experience God's presence.
And now your vows, your promises of commitment to each other.
I go first. Okay. Ahem.
It's a spider.
Get the spider. Oh, hey, buddy. Thank you. We'll have a moment. Thank you.
Spider.
We're good. Spider. Hi, love. Thank you for seeing me and celebrating me in a way like I've never experienced before. It means a lot. Thank you for helping me start to reach a higher tone through your divine femininity. Thank you for being you in all that you are and bring to my life. I'm really excited to start a family with you. Really excited. I vow to be your support and give you courage and strength so that you can continue to be a light to everyone that loves and relies on you. I vow to love you unconditionally and turn you back to your divine Father, Mother, God when you need your spiritual sustenance. This is the hard one. I vow to walk with you all the days of your life so that you'll never be alone again.
Chris, you are the one that I want to spend my life with. You're the one that I want to be with. I am at home with you. I promise to remain your biggest cheerleader, your most captive audience, to see you through my God goggles, but never use that phrase again.
Thank you.
I am a forever commitment to love you extravagantly, to respect you, to honor you, to surrender to you, to lean into you, to support your dreams, never to take you for granted, to remind you of the moments you have forgotten and not take it personally.
That's very nice.
With all my heart, I trust that God led us to this moment and will lead every step from here on out. I will never stop putting you, our family, in God's hands. The greatest gift of my life will forever be that Patience had her perfect work. I love who I know you to be, and I trust what I do not yet know. Blissfully, I give you my heart. You are my forever priority.
Thank you, my love.
Can you put these in your pocket?
And now these rings that Cash, Chris's nephew, is bringing are symbols of the permanence and enduring nature of your love.
Nailed it.
Your rings are precious because you wear them with unending, resilient love, approving love, persistently giving round and round, regardless of circumstance, emotion, or opinions. And that's the very nature of divine love herself. Chris's ring is engraved with an infinity loop with a K and a C on each loop. And Katie's rings have carried the promise of love in her family through generations. Whenever your eyes fall on these bands, you'll be reminded of the continuity, of tenderness, toughness, and capaciousness of your love for each other. So Chris, please take Katie's ring, and as you place it on her finger, carefully, repeat after me. Hi, my love.
Hi, my love.
Look, I got you a ring.
I got you a ring.
This will signify my complete and perfect love for you,
This will signify my complete and perfect love for you.
and that no matter what,
And that no matter what,
I promise to love you
I promise to love you
and uplift you
and uplift you
and make you laugh as much as humanly possible.
and make you laugh as much as humanly possible.
You may set the ring on her finger.
Setting it. That's nice.
Now, Katie, please take Chris's ring.
Sorry, you wanted a high five. This one. Nope.
And then repeat after me. Chris, I give you this ring along with my heart.
Chris, I give you this ring along with my heart
As it circles your finger
as it circles your finger
with no beginning and no end,
with no beginning and no end.
you feel my love encircling you
You feel my love encircling you
forever and always.
forever and always.
Katie and Chris, your relationship is part of the infinite us, bigger than the two of you. It's a blessing to your loved ones here today and everywhere, just as the infinity engraving on Chris's ring symbolizes. So Katie and Chris are standing here wrapped in a symbol of an infinity loop. And they ask that everyone now stand and join hands and have a few moments of silence. And then Ginny and Sue will each give a blessing.
Chris and Katie, at this sweet moment, we all here today pray that your marriage be one of strength and permanence, filled with life's richest blessings, that your home be a haven of peace and joy. Infinite, keep you well and safe. That you feel the effects of divine love meeting your everyday needs. Let us pray that inspiration, creativity, and joy fill your thoughts and actions. as you day by day live and fulfill the terms of this holy covenant you have made with one another through solid, just, pure, and precious evidence of heavenly love and laughter forever. As promised in the Bible, He will pour you out a blessing. And what a blessing indeed. Beyond imagination. Love's infinite embrace is extraordinary, and we witness today the love of Christ that unites Katie and Chris and ripples out as a wave of healing and joy far beyond those of us gathered here. The light of divine love they share free and time as the collective becomes a united purpose.
Amen. You may be seated, and if you wish, you can stop holding hands. Before we send you out into the world as husband and wife in veil, Chris and Katie just want to take a moment to love and appreciate everybody who's here. They're special people. Your vows have been made. You are united in sacred matrimony, and I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. And I present to you for the first time ever, Mr. and Mrs. Christopher Nelson Harbur. Hello. Celebrate good times, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! Woo!
All right, so I'm speaking first. I'm toasting these two lovebirds. For those of you who don't know me, you're kind of blocked. Can you guys all hear me? Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm Chris's little brother. We're actually 11 months apart. And yeah, you can talk to my parents about it. I've never asked. Physics don't work. So even though growing up, everyone thought I was the older brother and the bigger brother, Chris had some subtle and not so subtle ways of reminding me that he was in fact the big brother. So there's one particular example that comes to mind. So when I was about 7, I loved baseball, and my personality was kind of like a golden retriever. So I always begged Chris to come play baseball with me. And I would beg him and beg him and beg him, and he never did it. So finally one day he said, fine, let's go. You get the bucket, you get the balls, you get the bat, we'll go play. But he said, I'll bat first. So we go out into this long driveway we had in Weston, and he's standing at one end, and at the other end is like all of the neighbors' yards and woods and places where the balls would land. So I throw Chris like 35 pitches, and he's hitting balls all over the place, into the woods, into the street, behind him, whatever. And then he says, all right, let's switch. Why don't you kind of go picking up all the balls? I'll grab the ones here, and then you can bat. And I'm thinking, this is amazing. So I'm bounding through the woods like a retriever with my bucket. I pick up 35, 40 balls, and I come running back into the driveway expecting to see Chris. And the only thing I see is this little bat kind of rolling slowly to a stop, and Chris is gone. And I kind of thought to myself, he kind of got me on that one. So what makes Chris unique? A lot of stuff, and we don't have that much time. But something I think that's really unique about my brother is that he's always trying to understand other people, and not just sort of who they are and where they're from, but it's like he literally wants to know what it's like to walk in their shoes. And Chris feels other people's pain and joy. He actually feels it. And it's always amazed me about him because I don't have that. So it's a really unique thing, especially like for a man in our society where sort of the lessons you learn are not to be able to have that skill. It's a really special thing. He has the ability to connect with anybody and everybody, no matter what. Age, origin, gender, doesn't matter. What country they're from, doesn't matter. He will find a way to connect with every single one of those people. And there's a couple of examples that, that come to mind. So one was, we had a Christmas church party one year, and it was kind of a newer church we were going to, so we didn't know that many people. I didn't want to go to the party. Alex didn't want to go to the party. Chris was all about it. So we're sitting there, and by the end of the night, Chris had literally talked to every single person at the party, and he'd learned something about them. Alex and I were sitting in the corner, and we didn't even talk to each other most of the time. And that's Chris, and that's me and Alex. One other thing that kind of sticks out, so I remember we went on this cruise, and we ended up finding this really cool group of people that were kind of our age. We hung out with them for 7 days, and it was a total blast. And I was kind of trying to remember, like, how did we end up getting connected to those people? And then I remembered Chris had made friends with this group of people in the immigration line before we got on the cruise ship. And they ended up being our friends for the whole week. Katie. So I've talked about how I always prayed that Chris would find his perfect match. And over the years, he's had some misses. Right, not MRS, MISSES, misses. Close, but no cigar. And while some of them were nice folks, the problem was that they never actually understood what made Chris so unique. And so to have had him find someone who definitely gets it is amazing. And I'm so happy that you're joining our family. So I haven't known Katie for that long, but I wrote down some things that I've already seen with you, and I want to read you the list. You have an open mind and an open spirit, unlike anyone I think I've met. Your warmth emanates, and I think it literally fills rooms. You are energized by connecting with other people, and Chris is the same way. You divine energy from connecting and being with other people. You love to think. You value relationships over just about anything, and most importantly, you are perfect for my brother. You also do funny accents, which we may hear later. So I was writing down all of these things about you, and sort of this quote popped into my head. So I'm just going to read it because I don't want to butcher it. I think you two are going to be a springboard for one another when that's needed. And you're also going to be a soft place to land when that's needed. And I can say from my own personal experience being married for 10 years that those things are really important and they're really special, and you kind of got to have both. And I already see you guys having that. you will reinforce the things about each other that make you, you. So Katie, I am so honored that you're joining our family, and I feel honored that we're joining your family. I'm not done. I'm not done. Sit down. So,
I told him 3 minutes.
where are we at? Joshua Henry. So Josh is going to be going next. He's the fourth Harbur brother. And if you don't know Joshua, Broadway star, 2-time Tony nominee, 3 times. And most recently, he was in the lead of this great musical. He was wonderful. The musical didn't really get any traction. It was called Hamilton. So a couple days ago, Chris pulls me aside and he goes, "Hey, you and Josh are going to kind of do a little thing once lunch is getting ready. Do you want to go first or second?" And I said, "Whatever, I'm easy, but what's Josh going to do for his thing?" And he goes, "Well, he's composed an original song, and he's going to perform it live." And I was like, "I'll go first." Let's just kind of. So to end on a more serious note, for the first 18 years of life, Chris was sort of mine. I got him, I took care of him, I loved him, he took care of me. And so I was worried when he went off to college that he wasn't gonna find someone who appreciated what he was. And so for the next 18 years, he did. And that was this guy. So it feels very fitting and very special for me to have kind of covered the first thing in the first 18 years and then to hand it off to you, the fourth Harbur brother. Wow. Love you.
Woo! So, wow, I was holding on by a thread. I'm gonna eventually sing a song. I want to just say a few things. Thank you so much, Drew, about Chris and Katie. I'm going to start with Katie. We spent about a year studying science and health together in a book group with Chris and some other friends in New York. And in that time, anytime that we would have our book club, and then Katie would leave, and I'd be like, Chris. Like, what? I have found that you are one of the most loving, I was literally going to say open-hearted healers that I've ever met. And I've been watching you heal so many people, but especially Chris, for as long as I've known you, before this was a thing. And Catherine and I, my wife Catherine and I have been, anytime they would leave or we'd have a conversation about Chris or Katie, we're always like just cooking, like, oh yeah, well they should really, come on. Like, that's a no-brainer. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that you are the perfect person for my best friend. And I am so grateful that you've been in each other's lives for this long. And thank you for everything that you are bringing, have brought, and will bring to Chris Harbur. Thank you. So to Chris, it's hard for me to say this, but I told you! How many times did I tell you? How many times I was like, Katie, how many times? I'm sorry, I don't do the I told you so thing. But I told you so! And that feels so good to say. I'm just glad that, before that moment, we've been talking about Katie for such a long time, and I remember when I just got the call, and he was like, I'm gonna propose to Katie, and much like the way that you feel, sort of handing him off to me, Drew, I didn't realize at that moment, and I was silent for a while because it was a lot to take in, and at that moment I realized how much I was holding over the last 20 years from my best friend. Because when he said that, knowing Katie, I felt like a 30-pound vest come off of me. And so that was a really big moment for me that was very unexpected. You know, when you're holding weight that you just didn't know. I don't hold that anymore, and I know that you don't. And we've talked about this so many times over the last several years, and I'm here for whatever you need from me. But you're in amazing hands. So I know you know that. A couple more things about Chris. He has been Mr. Intangible for so long, and we've talked about this from 2002 to 2006 weeks ago, or 8 weeks ago, and we always, there's two things. You know, I make some calls sometimes, y'all. I'm like, you're gonna end up with someone who sees everything that you are, and she's gonna hold you to be everything that you are, and that's Katie. She is going to make you. She's going to demand in a lot of ways that you are who you can be. That is a blessing. That was more on Katie. That's more on Katie. But I just want to say how proud I am to see this moment, how happy that we all are. And you're right. He's in amazing hands, and you're in amazing hands together. And with that, you're very welcome. Love you too. And with that, I want to present this song that I've written for Chris and Katie as they do their first dance as a couple. Hold it for 2 seconds while we tune. All right. I'm not afraid of the dark, 'cause you are the light I see. Let us connect our hearts, 'cause God made you for me. Wherever you go, I'll go. Wherever grace may lead, perfect love will flow. 'Cause God made you for me. 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 Ooh, oh, hey. God made you for me. Moments without you, heaven designed. They were preparing your heart for mine. All of our loved ones, they saw the signs before we knew. Just hold me closer, just want to feel everything I'm supposed to feel. It's you, it's you, it's you. Oh, God made you for me. God made you for me. God made you for me. Yeah. God made you for me.
such a
That was so beautiful.